the people and environment of Bangladesh are experiencing some of the worst pollution in the world. The waterways across the country, and especially in the capital of Dhaka, are turning black with toxic chemicals. This is causing the residents to develop rashes, coughs, cancer, and a variety of other medical illnesses. Doctors warn to stay away from this pollution, but for many the river is a source of income and have built their lives around the once clear water. Bangladesh has emerged as an often unsung economic success story in the half-century since a horrific independence struggle left its people facing hunger. Now the tiny country with a population larger than Russia has overtaken neighboring India in per capita income and looks to continue rapid economic development to remove itself from the UN's list of least developed nations. This economic miracle has been spurred and underpinned by the booming garment industry, which seeks to service the largest fashion retailers globally. The industry employs millions, most of which are women, and accounts for over 80% of the country's exports. However, with this economic progress has come with a devastating environmental cost. The process of creating and manufacturing clothing garments is incredibly taxing on the environment. For starters, without even considering the effect on Bangladesh directly, growing the fibers needed to make the clothes is already damaging enough. Cotton, which is the most widely used fiber to make clothes, requires thousands of gallons to create something even as small as a t-shirt. And this has already been seen to have dramatic and disastrous consequences on the planet, the most famous of which is the drying of the Aral Sea in Central Asia, due to Uzbekistan's cotton fields. In a matter of years, the thriving sea has shriveled to a salty flatland void of the vibrant array of life it once contained. Furthermore, the process of shipping garments and materials to produce them costs the earth even more through fossil fuel emissions for transport, which adds to the enhanced greenhouse effect and adds to human-induced climate change. I hope you can see how this industry is already incredibly destructive, but it gets worse when looking directly at Bangladesh. The Mughal Empire established Dhaka, the capital of Bangladesh, on the banks of the Buriganga more than 400 years ago. Now in Dhaka, a deadly cocktail of colors, tanning acids, and other hazardous chemicals seeping into the waters of the Buriganga. The levels of pollution are so bad, the river has been called the largest sewer in the country. For ages, people constructed homes on its banks to enjoy the river breeze. Now, the smell of poisonous sludge during winter is so bad that people have to hold their noses as they approach it. According to a 2020 document by the Bangladeshi government's River Research Institute, chromium and cadmium levels in river water were more than 6 times the World Health Organization's recommended maximums. These elements are used primarily in leather tanning, and if exposed to humans can have horrific effects. Chromium is carcinogenic, and chronic cadmium exposure causes lung damage, kidney disease, and premature births. Furthermore, molecules and compounds such as ammonia and phenol, which are byproducts of fabric dyeing, have depleted the river's oxygen supply, threatening marine life. Residents in Shyampur, an industrial district surrounding the capital, claimed that at least 300 local enterprises discharge untreated effluent into the Buriganga River. They claim they've given up complaining about the foul odor of the water because they know the offending businesses may easily avoid blame. The sheer dominance of the economy in the country has reportedly established a nexus between the government and the industry, with some politicians having a key stake in the industry. Factories, which have a lot of power and influence thanks to the demand for cheap clothes worldwide, have been accused of bribing authorities and threaten those residents who try to complain. This has forced the local people to suffer in silence as the chemicals pollute their home, their environment, and their bodies. The garment industry is deeply ingrained in Bangladesh. Meaning, the solution is not as simple as boycotting. Removing fast fashion would be removing almost the entirety of the Bangladeshi economy. Instead, the solution is reform. Some larger factories and chains of factories have established environmental regulations. However, the strictness of these are less than desired, and in most cases, smaller factories with smaller profit margins can't afford to treat their wastewater and so simply dump it into bodies of water. Bangladesh is a country dominated by rivers which trickle from the Himalayas down to the delta in the south. According to the Bangladesh Environmental Lawyers Association, of the 200 or so major waterways, over a quarter of them are now heavily polluted. According to the UN Food and Agriculture Organization, authorities have established a panel tasked with conserving major water sources on which close to half of the country's population depends for farming. In addition, the National River Commission has conducted a number of high-profile campaigns to penalize factories that pollute waterways. Manjur Chowdhury, its recently appointed chief, blamed greedy industrialists for the status of the country's waterways. However, he agreed that existing punishments were insufficient to address the scope of the problem. Another way to fix the issue could be reusing and recycling treated water, which may reduce water consumption, effluent volume, and water stresses, and may help preserve aquatic ecosystems. However, financing this technology and awareness are factors limiting the adoption of cleaner production options are limiting the uptake of this solution. Many have suggested a government-enforced, nationwide set of restrictions or laws to reduce the pollution problem, but this has yet to be seen to any real degree. As individuals, the solution is to raise awareness of the poor living conditions and put pressure on the large fashion corporations to create more sustainable clothing, humane working conditions, and a livable wage. By holding companies accountable, making informed consumer decisions, and advocating for workers' rights, there is hope in ending the negative consequences of fast fashion in Bangladesh. So please do your best to help this issue, as it isn't isolated to just Bangladesh. Across the world, the textile industry is destroying the planet. Stop fast fashion, raise awareness, and donate where you can. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe for more.